For those who weren't here last time, Dean, before you do your performance, can you talk a little bit about where we are?
Sure.
Okay? Okay, so Dean Steele's going to be our first person, and before he tells the story, he's going to tell you a little bit about where we are, because he's pretty much involved with
Okay.
Dean Steele.
Thank you. So, my parents made this place in
1982.
1982. And you know what's funny? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
thank you. Oh, that's much better.
Yeah.
I sound so big. Pam Dauber, you know who that is? Minnie cut the ribbon. Isn't that cool? And Mark wasn't here. But anyway, so the shades go up and down. This is called a clear story, and all these open up and the sun just blasts through. So the whole south side of this building is glass. And that was the old style of solar building where you just, man, you can't get any more sun into the building. And then this was actually invented in the basement of the University of Oregon. And this kind of building. And what you would do is, you've got a lot of sunlight, and then you put a ton of mass in here, like barrels of water and big cement stuff, so that even when the sun's blasting in here, it's so heavy that it can't go up more than 80 degrees. And then you have movable insulation, and when y'all come to this side, you can see the gold stuff down there. It goes up and down by itself. When the heat's going out, the insulation goes down. And then these levers go down, and so once it gets hot during the day, you close her down, and then it'll keep warm all night. And anyway, so that's, and my parents did it to try to show people, to union carpenters, that there was actually a lot more money in solar than in not. And not to be scared of it, but to take advantage of it and make more money. This place was really expensive. It was stupid, but they loved it. And now that Michael and Kim cleaned the whole place, and Ken painted it, we love it too. Okay, so that's kind of the cottage. What did I want to? Okay, so I want to invite everyone here to come with me on a vacation, okay? And so I, for 8 years, was a guide in the Sea of Cortez with sailboats, and so that was what I used to do. And it may have been the thing I was best at in my life. And so anyway, the month of March, I'm going down to an island called Isla Carmen, and it's 25 miles long, and no one lives there. And the south side is a beautiful beach. It's where my heart lives. I have a cave that I sleep in, and there's 3 caves, so someone else can have the other caves. And the blue whales go right past this beach. So anyway, I'll be there all of March, and I have a sailboat down there, and I have a motorboat, and I'm going to have a cook from our village come, and I'm going to have a fisherman come from our village, and so they will teach people, that stuff. So anyway, month of March, the place is called Loreto, Loreto, and you can fly there on Alaska Air from here. So anyway, anyone who wants to come and check out the blue whales, okay? And I'll take care of you. I'll try.
Nice.
I'll try.
Bring money.
I'm on. Yeah, I'm on. Yeah. So, and this is a story about my ranch. I live there. No road, no electricity, real cowboys, cowgirls, all that. And so anyway, this is about the ranch next to the island. Well, the early morning comes out of a black night full of twinkling stars. Stars twinkling, and that means wind up there. So we drink coffee, and we're just lazy bones until Chico makes us do something on the ranch. Usually something hard that the three boys and me, we do as slowly as possible. Because work goes on every day, forever and ever on a ranch. No reason to go fast. At night, when the stars do not twinkle, the morning star, Venus, the Roman goddess of love and beauty, has eager fishermen out of your warm covers and three to a boat, roaring offshore before the sun rises. Us making god-awful offshore, long noises like bats out of hell. Spanking ocean at 25 miles an hour like gap-toothed monsters on a half-shell missile. Even in a clock calm, the boat lazily drifts around and around as we fish. Our eyes watch the northern horizon because in the Sea of Cortez, a black line means windstorm in 45 minutes. Which ain't cool any time, but it's bad enough with maybe 3 tons of fish on board that for sure sinks the boat in the curl on the beach. Bad for the motor, bad for the boys. There are lucky fishermen. There are badass fishermen. The older men are tougher and have more character than we do. I am friends with the boys, but we all know that we're still dependent on luck to cover our assets. At 5 a.m., the first light, not yet enough to distinguish color, makes pushing the boat easier down the wet but not slippery sand. We use cut logs as rollers. The wavelets sigh while feral pigs, never fat, make their scuffling sounds, eating every remainder of yesterday's gutted fish. Well, there's an eye, there's a fin, there's a backbone and a tail. One great thing about pigs is that they taste great and the beach is always clean. We had 50 pigs just wandering around, no fences. Actually, pigs that eat fish don't really taste that great. Not like first-class pigs kept in a cage and fed scraps and dates. Okay, except for those sounds. The wide beach, 800 miles long, broken by rocky headlands, is quiet. There's much more noise under the water where aquatic and rapid life is bouncing around. The wives and the children in the early morning are listening to a scratchy AM radio, and the batteries are still kind of working. They're waiting for the local news and when the mail is read. And that's how people learn from other ranches. You just read mail, what's going on. The ranches are 50 miles apart. Senora Morales misses her son and wants to know, he should know that Uncle Carlos has died. Where is Conchita? Does anyone know where my husband is? They're reading this on the thing, We were both at the festival at San Ynez, and we danced until dawn, and then he disappeared. It's great, all the women are like laughing and stuff, like listening to the mail. In half an hour, the sweeping starts, and the washing too. The women have returned from the beautiful new little chapel in San Nicolas, that's the name of our ranch. And they have dusted the chapel and they've made it very clean. And the women have completed their chanted rosaries, waiting for the mass that the priest will do when he finally visits from Loreto. The women make sure the priest's bed is ready, and they would cook him specialties and tend to his every whim. Well, the men and the pigs and the dogs of San Nicolas are kept outside of the beautiful and clean chapel by a locked gate that the women lock every morning. We are too predictable to enter a holy place. And of course, since women are better than men, it makes enough sense that it's unquestionable. The men get to make jokes anyway at the expense of the women because we all know that that priggish priest will never visit rancheros, no matter how fine the chapel is and no matter how clean it is. The priest is Roman. He is a different man whose ancestors worshiped beautiful human gods and made ancient roads and viaducts. Water flowed on top of long bridges thousands of years ago. When Loreto runs out of water, it takes 8 years to complete a leaky, inadequate pipe 27 miles long. The trees died, and the army brought us contaminated water in trucks. On ranches like San Nicolas, there are proper homes with whalebones around the gardens, with colored flower tiles underfoot. There's captured wild birds in cages, making pleasant songs. A tame deer eats contentedly as young women in beautiful dresses and makeup make you the best coffee in the world. The red hibiscus is raised and dried. Dates are lowered gently to sweeten on long benches made from palm. A cement dance floor is polished and so slippery that couples glide like leaves on water at weekly dances. Kids laugh, and a 4-year-old walks half a mile to get a penny candy from the little store. The kids swim in the huge cistern that pressurizes warm, sweet water, irrigating straight earthen ditches between mango and papaya trees in our 10-acre orchard. This ranch is 100 years old, right? So everything is like perfect. Hippies, unfortunately, we're too new. We haven't made our ranches perfect yet. Such stubborn retreats, like San Nicolas, they may not survive in the modern world. One day the ranch may be overrun with weeds, windows broken, and trees dry. And that's starting to happen now. But for the time being, back then, it is as beautiful and useful a place to be found in this desert well run. The sweet water pumped out of the ground every other day in the summer keeps it so green. Linda Ronstadt sings songs to her Mexican father from a worn-out cassette in a broken truck in the shade that still has a stereo. It's so beautiful and it's so calm. Here's the thing I like. Boredom is much better than excitement. You learn this when you're living like this. Boredom, you can lean against it. You know what to expect. It's like everything is the same all the time, and it's great. Excitement, you never know what's going to happen. It can be good or bad, So we really learn to really dig boredom. Okay, here's the story, then we're done. One night, Jorge, the middle brother, the cynical, funny brother, woke up the whole family in the middle of the night. He was excited and babbling that there was a UFO right outside our gate. Okay. Me, the 3 girls, cold and sleepy in their nightgowns, Chico and Francesca, mom and dad. Looking up, Jose, the 19-year-old younger brother, who gets married to the beautiful Leticia. We're all looking up at Venus. changing colors and huge in the dark sky. The family stays up much longer than I can fathom, watching this planet that we all know so well, vibrating so mysteriously that we're not sure exactly what is what. And then we go back to sleep because the wind starts to blow.
No.
Thank you, Dean. Stories of Baja and gap teeth monsters.
Come down to Baja.
Yeah. Okay, Gloria, come on up.
Thank you. So at the farmer's market, I was one of the lucky winners. Got 7 prizes.
Whoa.
That was amazing.
Nice.
And one of the presents was the poem by Charles Mattoon called Lusciousness. It's very sensuous. Oh my goodness, my love, you are like farmer's market lay along a lilting stream of sparkling dreams, a luscious lane of cornucopia sun, full flower of nature's bounty, spilled voluptuous vendor of all the senses' splendors. The ripeness of every season's thrills in one kaleidoscopic cascade of appetite, whetting will, yet soft summer grass, satin mile. I am a child in your stevia, Bolivia, guilt-free candy store, Oliver's begging dog that always gets more. Oh, this poet always wags his typewriter tongue to excess, but you are worth it. My luscious one, you happily has me in delicious largesse. I love it. So, on that note, it's like, okay, better find something kind of on that subject. And, man, don't get too, close your eyes or something. This is from a Eon magazine. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's really great writing of any subject that you want to. And they wrote about Eros at play. The author is called Jenny Marquet. It's really cool. And they had a little poem by a Greek, in very ancient, I think it was in the 1400s, Sappho. And for that time, oh boy. So, the sweetness of your laughter, yes, that I swear it, says the heart of shaking inside my breast. Since once I look at you for a moment, I can't speak any longer. But my tongue breaks down, and then all at once a supple fire races inside my skin. My eyes can't see anything, and a whirring whistle thrums at my hearing. Cold sweat covers me trembling, takes a hold of all over. I am greener than the grass, and I appear to myself to be little soft of dying.
Wow.
I'm going to do one more. And this is for Dean, who loves Spanish. And I was going to read the tongue twisters, but next time I'm going to read tongue twisters. This is because it's just fun. And actually it's poetry, tongue twisters. So this one is in Spanish, it's called R con R cigarro, R con R barril, rápido ruedan los carros cargados de azúcar al ferrocarril. ¿Vale?
Wow.
Arma cigar out with our barrel, quickly rolled the cars loaded with sugar to the railroad.
Wow, that was a Spanish tongue twister?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have many more times.
You do?
Next time.
Wow, okay.
Got the
Wow, that went from a Charles Mattoon poem to Salvo to a Spanish tongue twister. That's a good variety there. That's very good.
Oh.
Okay, next we have Ken.
I'm taking a break from pickleball to come here tonight, as you know.
Oh, good, good.
You know, it's just dominating. You know, you have to play 3 or 4 or 5 times a week to be normal. You know, there's a category of words like words to live by, little amateur witticisms that we all encounter every day. Think about this basic question that all of us answer from time to time. How you doing? How you doing today? Think of the variety of replies. I mean, it says, well, I can't complain, which immediately you should say, well, who would listen? Or, how you doing, Ken? Fine. Well, how much time do you have? I mean, there's a lot going on here. Or, just little philosophical things. I worked at a sawmill in Colorado for 10 years, a real small one, but big logs, nothing like Oregon, but it was a busy little place. And 2 of the mainstays of that lumberyard were quite the characters. This is back in the 70s and early 80s. Each of them lived to be like nearly 100, and they were from Kansas. You'd say one to Louis. Louis wore the same clothes every day. Blue overalls, long sleeve blue work shirt, and a fedora hat. Wow. Smoked unfiltered Luckies, and when you said, how you doing today, Louis? He'd go, some of us is kids and some of us is billy goats. That's all he said. He'd say that all the time.
Oh, no.
And when I was learning from the owner of the sawmill how to avoid injury amongst these big logs, because I was using a chainsaw and forklift and lots of stuff, he says, well, you gotta be smarter than a log. That man turned out to be my mentor, like a substitute father for many, many years. And I always visited him in Colorado Springs until he passed away. One of the best responses I ever got to the question of how are you was on a job site when I was delivering windows in Vancouver, Washington. It was a bright sunny morning, and I got a hold of the construction supervisor, find out where these windows went, what needed to be moved, and I said, so how you doing this morning? And he goes, if I had a tail, I'd wag it. Okay, enough witticism, that's about it. And sometimes people ask me, so, Ken, what's the matter with you? And I say, a lot. One note of somebody who's not here tonight, I think we all know Rod Williams. He's been up here several months. He's an accomplished writer of his own right. Yeah. He had a real breakthrough. He's been working on a novel for several years since I've known him. He's written other novels. But he announced at our writers group, of which 2 or 3 members, Sarah, Gary, we're all present here tonight. You send a manuscript off to a publisher, and really it's only the first 3 chapters and a cover letter, and 99% rejection rate. It's called a slush pile. They read it, they go, no, it's not. He got asked from the publisher to read the whole thing. That's a big thing. Really is. So he's not able to be here tonight. He's guest teaching at a novel writing class with James Burke, of which even I did last week. I don't know why. So anyway, good for him. He's probably not going to make it here tonight. Anyway, I have no original poetry of my own to write. Background applause, thank you. However, I went to the library in search of something to read, of which there's many, and I got 5 short little poems. I'll do the little ones first. This is from Carl Sandburg. It's called The Road and the End. I shall foot it down the roadway in the dusk, where shapes of hunger wander and the fugitives of pain go by. I shall foot it in the silence of the morning, see the night slur into dawn, Hear the slow great winds arise where tall trees flank the way and shoulder toward the sky. The broken boulders by the road shall not commemorate my ruin. Regret shall be the gravel underfoot. I shall watch for slim birds swift of wing that go where wind and ranks of thunder drive the wild processionals of rain. The dust of the traveled road shall touch my hands and face. Reminds me of Frost a little bit, that one. There's another shorty, and I really like this one. It's called A Sphinx, like the Sphinx in Egypt. Closed mouth, you sat 5,000 years and never let out a whisper. Processions came by, marchers, asking questions you answered with gray eyes never blinking, shut lips never talking. Not one croak of anything you know has come from your cat crouch of ages. I am one of those who know all you know, and I keep my questions. I know the answers you hold. That's spooky.
Oh, yeah.
Was that Carl Sandburg too?
That was Carl Sandburg. And the return of Billy Collins.
Oh, yeah.
This one is called Morning. Why do we bother with the rest of the day? The swale of the afternoon, the sudden dip into evening, then night with his notorious perfumes, his many pointed stars. This is the best, throwing off the light covers, feet on the cold floor, and buzzing around a house on espresso. Maybe a splash of water on the face, a palm full of vitamins, but mostly buzzing around the house on espresso. Dictionary and atlas open on the rug, the typewriter waiting for the key of the head, a cello on the radio, and if necessary, the windows. Trees 50, 100 years old out there, heavy clouds on the way, and the lawn steaming like a horse in the early morning.